Hollywood's golden age dazzled the world, a beacon of cinematic dreams and manufactured fantasies. It presented the image of perfect heroes, larger-than-life figures gracing the silver screen, and glamorous heroines, icons of beauty and grace, captivating audiences worldwide. But behind the scenes, a different story unfolded, one far removed from the glitz and glamour. Stars were tightly controlled by studios, their careers and images meticulously crafted and fiercely protected. Their lives were managed down to the smallest detail, from their on-screen roles to their off-screen relationships. Every public image was a carefully crafted illusion, a performance designed to maintain the studio's carefully constructed narrative. This masking the reality of personal sacrifice and lost freedom, a heavy price to pay for fame and fortune. The pressure to fit a marketable ideal, to conform to the studio's vision of the perfect star, forced many to hide their true selves, suppressing their desires and concealing their identities. This created a painful divide between public persona and private truth, a constant struggle to reconcile the image with the reality. This story delves into, one of Hollywood's most hidden secrets, a chapter of the golden age that has long been overlooked. It tells the stories of individuals assigned female at birth who lived and worked as men in the public eye, defying societal expectations. Their stories, absent from fan magazines and mainstream narratives, are pieced together from private records, fragments of a hidden history slowly coming to light. They are brought to life through the work of dedicated historians, researchers who have tirelessly sought to uncover these untold narratives. These were not just actors on screen, playing roles for the entertainment of audiences, but people navigating personal identity, grappling with complex emotions and societal pressures in a restrictive era. They lived in a world with no language for their experience, no readily available framework to understand or express their true selves. Their existence challenges our understanding of stardom, forcing us to reconsider the narratives we have long accepted, and the era itself, revealing the complexities and contradictions that lay beneath the surface of the golden age. Revisiting these histories means looking past the legends, the carefully constructed myths that have shaped our perception of Hollywood. It means striving to see the human beings beneath, acknowledging their struggles, their triumphs, and their vulnerabilities. The risks they took to live authentically were immense, threatening their careers, their reputations, and even their personal safety. Their stories are not scandals, sensationalized tales of transgression and deceit, but testaments to courage and resilience, inspiring examples of individuals who dared to defy expectations and live on their own terms. As we peel back the layers of Hollywood's artifice, the carefully constructed facade of glamour and perfection, we find a different kind of story, a narrative that challenges our assumptions and expands our understanding of the past. It's one of quiet defiance and survival, of individuals who found ways to navigate a world that was not designed for them. It's time these stories stepped out of the shadows, out of the margins of history where they have been relegated for far too long, and into the light where they can finally be seen, heard, and celebrated for their courage and their contributions. The major studios of Hollywood's golden age were not merely production houses. They were sprawling empires, vast kingdoms of celluloid dreams. These studios wielded total control, an iron fist over every aspect of their stars' lives, both on and off the screen. Their power was absolute, their influence far-reaching. Under the ironclad contract system, aspiring actors willingly surrendered their personal autonomy for a coveted shot at fame and fortune, a chance to become a star. Studios meticulously dictated every aspect of their performers' careers, from the roles they played to their physical appearances and looks, and even their very names, crafting personas that fit their carefully constructed image. Highly skilled publicists and discreet fixers worked tirelessly to maintain the carefully crafted illusion, strategically planting favorable stories in the press, and ruthlessly burying any scandals that threatened to tarnish the studio's carefully cultivated image. The infamous and ever-present morality clause enforced strict conformity to societal norms, threatening to destroy careers over any behavior that was deemed unacceptable or that deviated from the prescribed image. Studios and powerful gossip columnists often worked hand-in-hand in a symbiotic relationship, trading carefully curated information and access for favorable coverage and glowing reviews. They also worked to actively suppressing anything that didn't fit the carefully constructed narrative they wanted to project. Any deviation, no matter how small, from the perceived conservative American ideal, was seen as a significant threat to the entire system. Stars were not just performers, they were expected to embody and project traditional values, the picture-perfect image of romance, marriage, and the traditional family. For those whose true identities simply didn't fit this narrow mold, maintaining absolute secrecy was not a matter of personal choice, but an absolute necessity for survival. The ever-present risk of exposure meant almost certain career suicide and complete public ruin, a fate to be avoided at all costs. The immense power of the studio system created a stifling environment where only the most carefully guarded secrets and hidden truths could possibly survive the intense scrutiny. For anyone living authentically outside the strict confines of the rigid gender binary, the only viable path to a career, to any semblance of a normal life, was total and complete concealment of their true selves. The stakes were impossibly, almost unbearably high, a constant source of immense pressure. To be discovered, to have one's true identity revealed, was to lose absolutely everything they had worked for. In this carefully constructed world of illusion and deception, survival depended entirely on maintaining absolute secrecy at all costs. Hollywood reflected the rigid gender roles of mid-20th century America. Men were expected to be strong providers, women nurturing and domestic. Any deviation from these roles was seen as a threat to social order. The legal and medical systems offered no support for transgender or gender non-conforming people. There was no language for gender identity as we know it today. Difference was pathologized or criminalized. Living as a gender different from one's assigned sex meant existing outside society's frameworks, isolated and unprotected. The post-war era intensified conformity, with mass media and Hollywood reinforcing a singular vision of American life. Films celebrated traditional romance and punished deviation, making it nearly impossible for anyone outside the norm to belong. Hollywood's dream factory helped solidify what was considered normal, leaving no room for those who didn't fit. For someone with a secret as profound as their gender identity, blending in was survival. Every day was a performance, on and off screen. The cost of authenticity was exile. Only those able to hide completely could hope to remain. Their entire existence became an act. Billy Tipton, a jazz musician, a name that resonates with both musical talent and a life lived against the grain of societal expectations. He is one of the most famous examples of someone assigned female at birth who lived as a man, navigating the world with a carefully constructed identity. Tipton began presenting as male in the 1930s, a decision that would shape the course of his entire life and career. This transition was largely motivated to access the male-dominated jazz world, a realm where opportunities for women were severely limited. His career flourished. He found success and recognition in a competitive industry. He led bands, recorded albums, leaving behind a musical legacy that continues to be appreciated today. And he toured widely, bringing his music to audiences across the country. To maintain his identity, Tipton crafted a convincing backstory, meticulously constructing a narrative that would protect his secret. He even explained his chest binder as the result of a car accident, a clever and desperate measure to avoid suspicion. He married several women, navigating the complexities of intimate relationships while guarding his truth, and he adopted 3 sons, embracing the role of a father and building a family life. Tragically, none of whom knew his secret, a burden he carried throughout his life. The truth emerged only after his death in 1989, a revelation that would forever change how his loved ones perceived him. It was shocking his family and community, forcing them to confront the complexities of identity and acceptance. Tipton's life was a testament, a powerful example of the human spirit's resilience. It was to the lengths required to live authentically in an unforgiving era, a time when societal norms offered little room for those who didn't fit in. His story became a media sensation, capturing the attention of the world and sparking widespread debate. But later analysis brought nuance and respect, recognizing the courage and determination it took to live such a life. Tipton's life was about more than a secret. It was about the pursuit of dreams and the fight for self-determination. It was about pursuing passion, dedicating oneself to the art of jazz and making a name in the music world. It was about building a family, creating a loving home, and experiencing the joys and challenges of parenthood. And it was about living as himself, embracing his true identity, and defying the constraints of a society that wasn't ready for him. His reasons were complex, a blend of personal desires and the practical realities of the time. It was blending professional necessity and personal identity, navigating a world that demanded conformity while yearning for authenticity. Tipton's legacy stands as powerful evidence, a reminder of the struggles and triumphs of those who dared to live differently. It is of transgender lives long before the term was widely known, offering a glimpse into the hidden histories of LGBTQ+ individuals. His story illuminates the hidden realities of the time, shedding light on the challenges faced by those who lived outside the boundaries of societal norms. Billy Tipton's story is the best known, but he was not alone. Most who lived similar lives left little trace, their secrets lost to history. Historians have uncovered fragments, like Ella Wessner, a vaudeville male impersonator who lived much of her private life as a man. The lines between performance and identity were often blurred, hinting at deeper truths. Hollywood's bachelor girls and confirmed bachelors may have included those with complex gender identities, protected by the studio's desire for secrecy. Without diaries or confessions, historians rely on subtle clues and careful detective work. The evidence suggests a richer, more diverse history than the era's films ever revealed. For those living hidden gender identities, survival itself was a triumph. Maintaining secrecy in a world built for exposure required constant vigilance and strategy. Their success was measured not just in career achievements, but in the ability to live undetected. Billy Tipton, for example, was respected for his talent, not just his secret. Adopting a male identity was about more than hiding. It was about seizing opportunity. They built careers, relationships, and families often filled with genuine love. Creating a fulfilling life under such circumstances was a profound achievement. Yet the fear of exposure was a constant burden, and the isolation immense. They navigated a world with no support, no language for their experience. Their triumphs are all the more remarkable for being won in utter isolation. Living a hidden life came at a steep personal cost. The loneliness was profound. There were no communities, no role models, no shared understanding. Every day brought the fear of discovery, making even ordinary moments fraught with risk. The need for secrecy demanded relentless self-control, turning life into a constant performance. True intimacy was difficult. Even loving relationships were built on carefully guarded secrets. Family members often learned the truth only after death, left to reconcile the person they knew with a hidden history. The lack of language and social understanding made self-acceptance even harder. Today we have terms like transgender and gender identity, but in the past, these concepts didn't exist. They had to invent their own way of being, without guidance or acceptance. Their journey was solitary, their courage immense. The psychological toll was heavy, but their determination to live authentically never wavered. They navigated a world that refused to acknowledge them. Their resilience remains a testament to the human spirit. For decades, these stories were buried by Hollywood's culture of secrecy. Studios and families protected legacies, and the public avoided uncomfortable truths. Only with time have private papers and testimonies become accessible, allowing historians to piece together these hidden lives. Changing social attitudes and the rise of LGBTQ+ rights have given us new language and empathy to understand these stories. What was once scandal is now recognized as vital transgender history. Revisiting these lives corrects and enriches our understanding of the past. These stories challenge the myth of a uniformly straight, cisgender Hollywood. They offer lineage and precedent for today's transgender and gender nonconforming people. People have always navigated these identities, even in the most restrictive times. Their stories matter now more than ever. Hollywood's golden age was built on illusion, but behind the glamour were real people with hidden struggles. The stories of those who lived as men, despite being assigned female at birth, reveal courage and quiet defiance. They were pioneers, forced to write their own scripts for survival. Their lives challenge our ideas of identity and authenticity. Success came not from conformity, but from radical self-creation. Their greatest performance was the life they lived, unseen by the public. We must approach these histories with respect, not sensationalism. Understanding their context honors the obstacles they overcame. By bringing these stories to light, we create a more inclusive history and pay tribute to their strength. The unseen stars of Hollywood's past finally have their moment in the spotlight.